that are two people that I look up to, that I honor, I respect, and I appreciate in so many ways. We're connected through social media. We met that way, and now I feel like I've met two of my soul my sisters, my soul sisters. I appreciate you both. Tonight we will be discussing uh shifting through cycles, the collective cycle, um, from fall to, or I'm sorry, summer to fall, and also energetically, what I think a lot of us on the planet, um, those that are awake and aware, or maybe newly awakening, having questions of becoming aware of certain things that are happening on the planet that may be challenging, and maybe you don't understand, or if you're having, dream in your dream time, you notice that you have a lot going on and you're active and you're meeting different beings. I mean, a lot is going on. I know for me, a lot's changed in my life just in the past couple months. I feel like I'm um, basically dropping the wands and just saying, okay, I need to step up in a bigger way, the best I can, and to be in service because I choose to, not because I feel obligated. So I want to open the show up. Miss Lily Hayes, introduce yourself, then we'll move to Divya. And yeah, please share a little bit about yourself. Um, well, maybe just a couple minutes so that because we're going to be running 90 minutes or maybe a little over. Uh, but I'd like to hear more about you, Lily. I'm sure the people that are listening in or will be listening in that haven't heard of you or haven't come across your work or other interviews I've done with you, maybe share a little bit about yourself, and then we'll move to beautiful Divya. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. Good morning and good evening. I'm down here in South Australia, so it's a morning for me. But my name is Lily Hayes. I'm a multidimensional intuitive healer based here in Adelaide, South Australia. And I help people be able to transition through deep-rooted trauma, working through ancestral blockages, and also specialize in reprogramming DNA and activating your light bodies. I also am very honored to answer the calling to be working with our beautiful Mother Earth and her beautiful grid lines. And I'll save going into that a little bit more for when we dive into the show. But I am very much here for everyone within humanity, Earth, and this multiverse as a whole, for us to be able to come through these changing times and to be able to be empowered to stand in our truth and to be able to share some really deep-rooted truths that society and these cages we've been placed in of suppression over decades and decades and decades. I'm really passionate about helping people break free from that and being able to stand in their truth and their power. So good morning, and thank you for having me.
Lovely. Thank you, Miss Lily. I appreciate you. And Miss Divya, please share a little bit about yourself and the work you do and what's going on. What's going on with you?
My second time being your guest. I'm so delighted to be here with this holy trinity of women on our new moon night. Yay.
Yes,
for you,
that's
Lily.
right. This is, yes. Oh my gosh. How did that even slip my mind?
Yeah.
Yes.
Setting those intentions and bringing it in. You know, I've done a lot of multidimensional work. I was born and the veil was very thick, and going through the brick road of people not understanding the multiverse has been the most challenging thing for people who are intuitive, tapped in, turned on, and in touch. And I feel like that's a challenge for many of us. Some of us self-isolate and we're still trying to connect, and it's certainly a dance. And then of course dealing with the people we love, everything they're shifting through simultaneously at the times, just through the last year. I've dealt with narcissistic abuse, betrayal from hell, and then my father died. So I had to get equipped and prepare myself for that. And of course, to hold some really solid, safe space for the people around me. So I've been very dedicated to that this last 4 months. You know, when I met you, Ida, I was in the Caribbean, you know,
Yes.
and then I came over to the East Coast of the United States and filmed back here in the West of the Americas. And every day I'm just doing the best I can, and that's all we really can do. But I'm all about us shifting and being conscious and tapping into our collective infinite potential to create a new, beautiful world.
Oh, you ladies are so amazing.
That
Thank
was,
you.
thank you.
What a beautiful, beautiful opening, both of you. I appreciate you. You know, I don't talk too much about the things that I do behind the scenes. I just don't. I'm very quiet in that. I'm very outgoing and I talk a lot, but I don't like to. It's not that I don't like. I just, you know, I do. I sit in silence and I pray a lot, and I definitely feel like I transmute a lot of energy for the collective, and sometimes that's really daunting on my body. I feel drained sometimes. And then, of course, I'm doing my own personal transformation right now. I mean, I feel like I'm going through, as I mentioned, a cycle right now. I'm shifting from one into another. And I know all of us are at some level. Even those that may think that they're not awake and aware, we are all being affected. Nobody is exempt. Um, I am a firm believer after some time of my own uh, challenges and wanting to wake everybody up when I had my awakening, and, you know, telling everybody from the cab driver to the whatever street corner hustler, like, there's something huge happening. Don't you feel it? And I was adamant to tell people, you know, about all the horrors of, you know, government and the medical field. And I could go on and on and on. And I've finally gotten to a place where I have surrendered to that. Like, there's no, I just feel that people that are seekers will find people like you ladies, like myself, like I did, like I found y'all from, you know, reading your posts and watching and listening and paying attention. I'm a true believer that people have got to want it. You know, they have the desire, the seed within us, the desire to awaken. You know, they want it. I mean, I've been a seeker my whole life. Um,
Yeah.
so what are your thoughts if any of what I just said makes sense? Because a lot of people, you know, I've got a couple hundred people that are subscribed to my channel, and I'm okay with that. I hope it grows. My point is to have a platform where I can bring women like yourself on to share your knowledge, your wisdom, your dreams, the things that you wish to put out into the collective that we can manifest and co-create together. But what are your thoughts on what's happening now with the jab? We won't get too, you know, go too deep into that, but because you did mention something about what's going on in Australia. So if you want to speak to that for a few minutes, Miss Lily, and then we'll give Divya, and we'll kind of just go in a, you know, in a circle where we all have an opportunity to talk and share what's on our heart. So, and then at the end, Divya, if you don't mind, real quick, because thank you for bringing that back to my awareness about the full moon, right? If we could do like a little
New
something,
moon, yeah.
yeah, our new moon, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
A little something at the end, we can, you know, put our energy together, and I've got a white candle going there, and
My
we'll
light
just sit
language
in
is
some,
like,
yes,
let
any
me
of that.
out.
Yes, any of that. I would love to do that. So,
Yeah,
okay,
beautiful.
yes, and
Um,
thank you for being patient with me, ladies. Go ahead,
ah,
Lily. Yep.
well, we love being on here with you, sister. So
Oh, thank you.
it's an honor hearing you shine your beautiful light and your voice, and being able to have us all come together. So, you know, it's an honor for us to be here. And yeah, it's an interesting time right now in Australia. We are going through an extremely challenging transition. And for those of my brothers and sisters who are here based in Australia with me, I will give you a trigger warning. What I'm about to say is not to upset anybody. I honor you, I see you, I feel you, and I love you all. but there are some things that not everyone has the ability to see within the unseen. And sometimes that's a blessing. But for those of us who can see the other side of what can be quite a shitstorm at the moment, and it's not just here in Australia, it is worldwide. But right now things are extremely escalated within Australia. And unfortunately, for new systems to be born, the old systems need to die. And that can be quite a chaotic and quite an extremely turbulent and painful transition for the collective to be able to go through, who are in the middle of that storm. But I see silver linings sneaking through. That is not to take away from the people who have lost their entire livelihood. That's not to take away from the people who, and I'll probably get a bit emotional with this because I really feel for our entire collective of humanity. But in Australia at the moment, I'm seeing my brothers and sisters and family members being put into a corner and saying, if you don't take this, you can't work, you can't go and be with your people, you can't do anything. They are really putting the pressure on. And it's heartbreaking. It is really heartbreaking. And especially for those that are going through it themselves. I'm in an extremely fortunate position. I'm self-employed and I don't need to be physically with a client in order to be able to have a really powerful healing or reading. Energy can go across the world, and I've got many beautiful clients who are overseas. So I'm in a really lucky position, but I feel my heart aches for those people who are going through losing everything, and they're facing fines if they don't do these things. They're facing all these business owners that have these amazing people employed with them. If they don't force their employees to go and get the situation sorted, they are then going to face major fines for their business. And you know, we've got an increased police force that are being recruited at the moment that are solely focused on being able to ensure that people are doing these things, or if they haven't done it, that they're not engaging in normal activities, normal everyday activities that every single human being on this planet should have the right to be able to embrace. Absolutely. For me personally, I'm allergic to half the things in the stuff, and I can't have it. I can't even have it if I wanted to have it. But what we're seeing is the truth coming out, and this is not the conspiracy theorist community. This is people who have been within the hospital seeing it. And 80% of our people who are in hospital with the situation have had they're actually getting sicker. And the media continue to try and suppress and hide this information. The government continues to hide and suppress this information. They've just now changed the ages of our children. And this is where it really hurts me, is coming for our children, our future generation, our future hope, our future leaders. And they've just changed it down to as young as 5 years old. But there are young adults, children, teenagers who are getting these things, and they are getting horrific side effects because their bodies are not made for it, and they're claiming half doses, they're claiming all this stuff. No, it is not safe. It doesn't matter if it's a tiny pinch, it doesn't matter if it's a full thing. It is not safe for our children to be having this. And it's really, really quite a confronting time for us right now. But I send so much love to those who choose to go ahead with having that. That is your personal choice, and I respect you. I love you. But for those who are standing and saying, no, that's not my choice, I stand with you. And I don't stand against the others at all, but I stand for free choice. I stand for us to be able to make that decision for ourselves, because it doesn't stop you from getting it or spreading it. It doesn't stop you. So we're all, even if you've had it or you haven't had it, as far as that standpoint comes, we're actually all on the same level. Yeah. We're not in more danger to each other. It's not about that. but we need to continue standing and rallying together and asking questions, asking for the truth, seeking truth, not bowing down because mass media is telling us that this is what it is. We
Let me
deserve to
just, if you
search.
don't mind.
Please.
So I appreciate
Yeah.
everything that you just said. Yeah, there's, and Divya, I definitely want to hear your perspective on all of this. I do know that, well, I have a friend locally that a firefighter who's worked for the area in the area that I live for, I don't know, 20, 30 years, came into her cafe and had told her that it was used to be maybe one or two people at every 3 or 4 shifts. They might have to rush somebody, you know, because of breathing complications or, you know, heart palpitations. Now it's 3, 4, 5 people every shift being rushed to the hospital. And these are people that have taken the stuff. So it's, you know, like you said, I mean, I do ionic detoxes for people, and I also do a protocol for people to get their bodies cleaned out. And I tell people, if you've taken something that's causing any kind of disruption in your, I met a lady in the bank today who said that she hasn't felt right ever since, but because her job required it, she did it. And I, you know, and it's so sad. And I reminded her, I was like, you know, a mandate is not a law, it's a request. But the fear mongering and, you know, all that, I don't want to get too, because I really I wanted to keep this on shifting and cycles, but it's okay because it's necessary to be, you know, it's like the elephant in the room that nobody wants to talk about. And not us, but people, they just don't want to discuss it. They're adamant that either they need it and they're scared, they don't, you know, they have elderly family, or ones that are adamant that absolutely not, I will not be putting anything into my body. And it's just that clear cut. And then you have some of those that are questioning and want to know, but because they fear their livelihood, they go with the status quo and follow along. And it's unfortunate. Miss Divya, what is your thoughts?
Well, Lily, my heart goes out to you and my friends from Australia, you know, in these times of tyranny and oppression. My heart goes out to you. You know, in these times of tyranny and a mass awakening, because we've been under centuries of manipulation. And for me personally, I know 4 people who have gotten it and gotten sick. So, you know, if I want a pair of scissors, I want them to work. So no, we cannot say that it's safe and effective. I respect choice. You know, my 2 sisters are nurses. They were coerced. And then, you know, my mother and I and my daughter, we're no, you know, and again, law is not a moral compass. You look at our laws and all these illegal, immoral things that were legal in our history. And when we start correcting that, we won't repeat history. So I believe in our sovereignty. Every time we let someone else choose, we are giving away our power. So, you know, I had a friend the other day, we went to the lake and she said, well, Div, everyone's not on the moral compass. We need government. And we laughed, but we do give our power away every time we let someone dictate or just decide. And it comes that time where we have to really take our power back. So Rosa Parks saying no, you know, protests are good, but not complying is everything, because it's in that no that you are taking your power back. You say, no, I refuse to be manipulated or coerced, because nothing ever is birthed productive out of fear. If you make a choice out of fear, nothing ever fruitful or productive comes from that.
Absolutely correct. Yes, ma'am.
So I think we all should follow our moral compass and tap into our intuition. And yes, I search and say, where is truth in this? Constantly ask your higher self and start seeing those signs, because I would just give my family testimonies of people who've had their own experience seem to help them the most to comprehend at a massive scale what's going on. And it's so many layers to it. But the division, the coercion, and the manipulation, no, we don't do that here. We're sovereign beings.
Oh, Divya, that's beautiful. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Absolutely. You know, a while back, I used, years ago when not long after I had my major awakening in 2011, although I came in very aware. I knew there, I questioned everything, and I, since I was a child, and annoyed a lot of people in my family, being the youngest of 12 kids. Nobody wanted to hear, I always brought up things that, they just never, they thought was so, not normal. But I remember going in to get medication for my back and, take your flu shot today. And it was so annoying. Like 1,000 times I said no. And then one day I said, okay. And I don't know if that was, my higher self saying, okay, you want to test it out, give it a try, see what's going on, see what happens in your body. And it disrupted my neurological system. I mean, I was, like this. And I've had to not fight, but fight. My body has fought for sure, trying to clean that stuff out of my body since 2013. So I have first experience of taking that, their nonsense, and knowing the harm and disruption of my divine blueprint. I feel my DNA being tampered and, mess with my consciousness and being able to think for myself and all of that. It scared me. It really did.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I've had an allergic reaction to almost every single, over here in Australia, I'm not sure what it's like in America, but right from childhood all the way through adolescence and into early adulthood, we've got vaccines that we need to continually have. A lot of things like whooping cough and chicken pox and tetanus and, all those kinds of different things. But almost every single one that's ever gone into my body has completely said, no, I can't have that. So those that needed repeated cycles, I haven't actually been able to have the repeated cycles because I was in some cases hospitalized. I got that sick from the adverse reactions. So it's one of those sort of things where we know that it's not for everyone. And look, there may be some people out there that are, my family, for example, they've had theirs, both my parents, my mum's a specialist nurse in the main hospital here in South Australia. And they've all been fine. They've had no side effects. We don't know, and this is not to say I do not wish this on them or anyone, but we do not know the long-term side effects. And that's one of the biggest things right now, is that we've got no idea what will happen for the long term because they have not been tested for long enough. But
and there's markers, Lily. There's markers in. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I need to say this. They put, okay, so what happens is that the stuff, whatever it is, they put, because I don't want to, they put into our bodies, and then maybe 2, 3, 4 years down the line, we have some type of complication or illness that shows up. And most people would say, oh no, they've come across something new, not realizing that it comes from, because they're able to mark it. Okay, in 2 years, it'll start doing these kinds of things in the body. And it's nothing but a spiral regression. My whole family's done it, just about. And everybody that I know in the family that I've spoke to about this have all agreed to do it, except one and I hope she doesn't. I mean, I don't know, but I've had to get to a point where I've had to, not had to, but have chosen to almost mourn losing my family, because I don't know what's going to come. And not that I'm not trying to put that in the field, and make that my reality. I'm just saying, it's like, it's just, I don't know what to think about it anymore.
Look, I think you really touched on something very important that people need to know and they need to understand. And this is not a jail out of free card, because it's no guarantee that this will work every single time. But for those that are put in a corner, but they know that it's something that is not necessarily fully resonating with them, there are options for detoxing out there. And I've actually already started having clients step forward and say, I've had it and I'm energetically not okay. Please help me. So the reprogramming, like I've now had clients come and see me and I've worked with their energy, and I can see that there is stuff that is foreign, that was not in their body and not in their system prior to having that done.
Right.
I know for a fact, and this is why I'm passionate about it, and not to project that onto people. I want them to have their own choice. But I'm here to share the truth that yes, there is foreign things going in your body that is far beyond what anybody is talking about within a mainstream arena. But it is possible to be able to reprogram and clear out your system. How many times this is going to take, I'm not sure what's going to happen yet. So far, these people have seen me once, and they're feeling great. And it's now the one that saw me like the longest period has been a month, and they're still feeling fantastic in comparison to where they were. They're back to be able to regulate their energy and to be able to do their energy work. But it is real.
That's
It is
fabulous, Lily. I'm so thankful that you're doing the work that you're doing, and many like you out there. We know we have other
likewise to both of you.
yeah. Divya, so let's hear more from you, Miss Divya. Where's your mind at?
Well, I was thinking about when you said silical, I was listening to a thing, and with the Mayans, everything was silical. They had a calendar for the sun, the moon, the life, the stars, and the planets. And in these times, it's been thousands of years for us to get here. I mean, really.
Yeah.
And, we're the women that talk about the things that mainstream media isn't talking about, but people in the mainstream aren't going to hear it. They have disassociated from a deeper reality that they will not tap into because they have been bamboozled. And saying, when the people are awakening, it's pretty natural to want to, initially want to save the world, but we have to get out of that box because everything's inward, and the more we work outward, the more we're creating something to work on. So it's working against us. So that was important.
That's powerful what you just said. Say that again, please. Please say that again.
People who want to save the world, we have to get out of that way of thinking because it creates more things to fix. The work is always inward. So we always have to turn inward, focus inward,
yes.
And not outward, because it's a paradox. It's an irony, and we are creating more things to fix. So that's just the thing, because people are awakening now. And Ida, we had spoke, both of us had awakened in 2011. It was lonely, isolating, inside out, upside down, and batshit crazy.
Yes.
And now here we are.
Yes.
We've been preparing for this. But for people in those initial stages, to turn inward, I think is important, because the more you turn outward, it's not very effective.
Yeah. I appreciate that so much. That's interesting. I'm so happy that you said that. Not saying that we drop and, everything and just say, okay, don't be concerned about. But I stopped giving my energy out to the big wide world of things and start pulling my energy back. And what am I capable of doing here and now, in this moment, in my community? How can I make a difference? And I will tell you that I've been much more effective in assisting people when I stick in my energy field rather than try to project out or find things to work on, as you said. And I remember, someone said to me, Ida, because I'm like constantly looking, is there more integration, more healing, more stuff? And I am a firm believer that we are, but as we're talking about cycles, we go through cycles, like we go death and rebirth constantly. It's not just one time you wake up and that's it, you've arrived, by far. Right. Yeah. And I'm constantly going through this death and this rebirth, and things that I was adamant about and felt very passionate about, I've shifted and moved through that. And now at a different place where I've worked, done that, whatever it was that needed to be focused on and healed, I've moved through that. And I kept replaying the thoughts and looping in my mind, thinking I didn't do it good enough. I didn't heal it well enough. I didn't and I'm at the point where like, hey, wait a minute. How about just dropping the freaking wands and letting go and being in the moment right here, right now, and, not look for people to bring information to, but they will find me if I'm, if needed, or I'll find who I need to find. Like, I just see it much different than I did when I first woke up. But of course, when you first wake up, you're like, how the hell did I not know all this stuff? Like, I
Yeah.
was just like, I was angry at I felt like how did I not know this? I was very angry for a long time. Divya, I appreciate you and I love your posts. I love the information you put out. I love even looking at your pictures, there's a story,
Oh,
right? Like when I seen the picture of you and your mother and you both up with your arms, and I'm just like, this is just beautiful. Um, you know, share more about, okay, so you went to the Caribbeans and you now have chosen to come back. Do you want to share a little bit about that? And then Lily, will go back to you and talk about, yeah. I
my
Guys, just real
stepfather.
quick. Yeah, I just want to say that this was the last minute, and I'm very fortunate to have had Lily and Miss Divya to agree to come on with me. So this isn't planned out, thought out. We're kind of just going with the flow, and I kind of jump around. Everybody's always patient with me, and I appreciate that. It's just the way my brain works. I don't mean to be that way, but go ahead. Yes, please share.
So speaking of that, Ida, yesterday I had a precognitive premonition psychic vision totally. I was sun gazing for 20 minutes in my bed because the sun comes in my window that time of day. And I had a vision of us talking. So you sent me the invitation. I'm like, oh, wow, this is tomorrow. I can't do that. That's the mind. But the vision, the higher self had already showed me it was happening. And, I don't refuse that. I don't say no to the universe because, she'll put you in a chokehold.
Yeah.
So I said yes to it.
Oh my gosh, that's so amazing. I love
Yes,
to
I
hear
literally
that.
I saw with my psychic eye us having a conversation.
Oh, love
And
it.
then I saw the invitation and my mind wanted to say, oh my God, that's tomorrow.
That's so awesome. I love to hear that, which is telling me that we are active in the spirit world doing work together.
Yes.
And it was, yes. So that's amazing. That's beautiful. That's lovely. I see you. Thank you. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for showing up, both of you.
Thank you for
You know,
holding
I know,
space.
yes, I just admire you both so much. And more women, we need to come together. We need to share. I went through a lot of trauma and nonsense. You were saying about narcissistic experiences. Do you want to share anything about that? Or would you prefer just to, I mean,
I feel like when women go through trauma, they do need to have encouragement and a network because it's not talked about. And we live in an environment that's very primitive. Our judicial systems, courts, family, churches, even counselors, it's out of their league for the simple fact that narcissists are very cunning, the covert ones and the ones that are blatantly obvious. And a lot of times the victims are actually gaslit by their counselors because the counselors are missing the signs. So, my intuition, my counselor's like, work on trust, work on this. And come to find out, I didn't have to work on any damn thing. It wasn't me. So I really want to speak on that. When women, whether it comes to us through a sign, a song, for me, it was dreams. And sometimes you can't explain it and it makes things difficult in this mystical language. However, it is guiding us all the time. And we live in a world that says, oh, you're jealous and you have insecurities. But it's unfortunate because with betrayal trauma with narcissists, it's deep. It messes up your system completely. Your way to articulate, your way to feel, it blows you out. It blows your nerves out.
Yes.
It's a total blowout. Your amygdala is shot. Your hippocampus can't compensate for it, and it takes so much work. But our systems aren't developed to harbor that. So therapists have their place. However, if you are dealing with a narcissist, be sure that you get someone who is specialized and certified in that field to understand their cunning tactics, because unfortunately, we live in systems that aren't advanced enough, and they gaslight us too, unfortunately, because they're just dealing with a family model of what they've been taught. So I just wanted to say that, because it's a process. They need support and encouragement, and to work through that. So I did that. I did what I needed to do, the heal, and that's going to look different for everyone. And then, I could hear it in my father's voice. He said, "When are you coming home?" So I knew it was time. So, we knew he was going to die, and he defied death 3 times. But there was the initial, being here with him and my mother, and then preparing for the death and being with him while he was dying. So that's what I have been doing for the last, 4 months. Preparing myself and holding space for mom. And we were fortunate enough to be with him when he crossed over, and he got everything he wished for. He wanted to be at home and die with dignity with his loved ones. And my mother was holding him, and I was at his feet holding his hand, praying. And, all these synchronistic divine interventions were occurring, from what's your song, what do you want to be said, to what outfit, and then of course, the divine put it on my heart to find hymns for him, and it was his favorite. Millions of hymns, on YouTube, and I picked his favorite. My mom was like, "Oh, you found his favorite CD," and I was like, I was guided to find this. So I sat with him in silence, and we listened for an hour and 11 minutes, and he died the next day. But all of that was,
Divya, that's so. I'm so taken by that. That's yeah. I could just see the whole thing. What you were just. Well,
yeah,
you were the light, the shepherd that helped his soul transition, and I trust that he's in a place where his soul will continue journeying for his highest and best growth. I mean, we know that when we die, there's no death, there's no real death. The body, we leave the body and we move, and we have more work. It never, I know I've crossed over and come back.
Yeah, me too.
You leave the body, you're still very conscious and aware. So for you to be able to provide that kind of ceremony for him, and to get his mind, because what we're thinking about a lot will take that with us. That's why it's so important to really be in a place of peace and ready to. That's lovely.
so
You were
in this
just
time,
making me yeah.
when we're
Go ahead.
losing people,
Yeah.
grief, we have to honor people's stages of grief. Grief is complex. It's several stages. You can't rush that.
No.
So, especially during these times and the times to come, I think it's
Yeah.
important, because we're all going to experience loss. We're all going to experience grief, or learn how to hold space for those who are grieving. I think that's very crucial in these times, in so many ways, to prepare ourselves for that.
You just said something, and I put this so that I could remind to bring it up to you. Deliberate release versus loss. Okay, I heard that on a video, and it really, so I started thinking for myself, like, deliberate release versus loss. And there are some things that I'm choosing deliberately to let go of and to move. Like, there are people, family members who I love very much, but I also know that they're karmic soulmates, right? They're karmic because I've incarnated in this family over and over and over again. And I'm not going to do it again. Seriously, or I'm not going to repeat the cycles. I'll tell you that. It's changing. It's ending with me. So what are y'all's thoughts on that? Like, what is your, Lily, please go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, on the topic of cycles and karmic cycles in particular, if I have been living and breathing this one lately, that's for sure. I think these times right now, and if you look at it from an astrological perspective as well, and just an energetic perspective, there's a lot of different things at play at the moment. And there's a lot of the past which is coming up. And actually a lot of the stuff that's happening collectively is also different things in replay too. So we're clearing out the trenches, like we are clearing out the trenches. And I've had so many karmic relationships that have come up for review. There are a lot of people that have come out of the shadows after not hearing from them for a while. There's been a lot of stuff that's come out within the family that we've been talking about as well. There's a lot of different patterning within myself as well that I've had to really be like, well, hang on, that's not actually where I'm at right now within this present moment. Right now within this present moment, I'm not actually making those old outdated choices that lead me down dead end streets. I'm actually making choices that lead me towards the infinite potential that I am within this moment and every moment. I'm not living small. I know what the fuck's going on right now. I see your wire, and no, I will not be fooled. I will not be fooled, but I send those past versions of myself, those people, those ancestral lines. I send everyone an abundance of love. I see them and I honor them for where they're at. But it doesn't mean that I have to choose to be at that same place with them just because that's what they want, or just because those previous versions of me want me to go
Yes, you
back.
said it right there, Lily. Yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
We don't have to go back. We can love and honor our previous selves. We can love and honor other people of our past, of our present, of our future, even when we're making various different choices. We do not have to repeat the cycle. In fact, this is the portal right now. And the 19th of November is a big portal that is going to be in the middle of the portals. So right now, this new moon in itself, it is, the doorway is open, and it's been open for a while. There's been various different doors opening. In fact, we're going through this amazing vortex, and there's so many different stages and waves. And the transition that we're going through now, we're going to see a lot of opportunities to be able to have these reviews. And fear will come. Fear will come in various stages, but you don't have to choose to submit to that fear. You can see it for what it is. You can say, it's okay, I love you. I send love to you. This might be to ourselves, this might be to someone else, this might be a situation. And we can send our love, we can open up our heart space and then sit within our true core and energy and say, okay, what do I really want? Does that serve me? No. Okay. What does serve me? It might be as simple as something that serves me within this moment is going for a walk and being by the water. It might be something as deep as, okay, I've actually got some old trauma coming up. Let's do some trauma work. And there are plenty of resources out there to be able to help teach you how to do that kind of trauma work, to be able to not just release the energy of that trauma, but to also be able to work on releasing the limiting beliefs attached to that. Because that's generally one of the big triggers that keep these cycles replaying, is our limiting beliefs and the trauma and energy attached to those situations. It's that like short-term comfort for long-term discomfort.
Right.
But there are also a lot of really beautiful souls out there who are available to help support you too. And look, I'm here for anyone that feels the resonance. We've got 2 other beautiful souls, and you know what? We've got a network of hundreds, if not thousands, of beautiful souls right now who specialize in supporting people. And it is an absolute honor to be a part of this community at this pivotal point in time. So for me, I choose not to repeat the cycle this lifetime either. And I choose to use these energies right now as the gateway they're destined to be. But there's not a lot of stuff out there saying, hey, this is a gateway. But here we are together collectively saying it is. And you have the opportunity to step through and transform as well with us. So
that was beautiful. That was absolutely lovely. You ladies articulate yourself. I do better writing than I do talking when I'm trying to.
You sell yourself short, sister.
Yeah.
You sell yourself short. You're amazing.
I just my mind jumps around a lot. It's difficult for me to stay focused on one thing, because something will be said and then my mind goes flying off to, triggers a memory or something.
Yeah.
And,
Oh, it
I
happens
feel
to
like
me
I got to
too.
get it all in. I want but I
Yeah.
love listening to you both. And yeah, we don't have to repeat the cycles. We
We
don't.
don't.
And it's something that I'm finally giving myself permission to say no. I cannot, even though I have so much empathy and compassion for my family, um and I want to be able to be a, you know uh however I can help them. But at this point in my life, I just feel like it's really just I'm being called in a whole different direction.
Yeah.
And when I'm around my family, it's like, when you're an addict and you go back to old friends that were, you used to party with, but you've changed and you don't party anymore.
Yeah.
It's like you can't heal in the same environment that you got sick in. You can't.
Yeah.
I don't want to keep there's triggers that happen, and I'm not saying my family's not responsible for my healing. I am. And I'm fully aware of that. And I own that and I take responsibility for my own healing. And
Yeah.
that means setting up boundaries and saying, no, I'm not going to continue to go back and test the waters or think that I can continue to have relationship. People say, oh, we'll love them from a distance. Okay. Yes, I will.
Yeah. You
It's
said
not,
something.
I love, yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say, you said something really important, and it's the fact that no one else is responsible for our healing but ourselves. So we
Right.
can seek a healer or a mentor to be able to assist us, but don't rely on them to be your savior, because they're actually not. They're not your guru. They're not your savior. You are. You are. And the true healers out there, they're not looking to be a guru. I definitely never, ever, ever want to be considered as anything of the sort. I appreciate the mutual respect and love that I share with people, my clients, and the community at large. But I'm here to plant seeds and to provide tools. I'm not here saying, oh, so you're going to make 1,000 more appointments to come and see me so I can be the one to fix you. No, that's not me. I'm here when someone needs me, but I'm here to say you are the one with the power to heal yourself. We are so infinitely powerful, so
Absolutely.
infinitely powerful. And
But we're taught, Lily, and I appreciate what you just said. So let's just reflect back for a second and just okay. So we're taught that anything in a coat, a uniform, judges, lawyers, doctors, police, whatever, anything that we have been taught or conditioned to believe is an authority outside of ourselves, right? We know now, absolutely not. I mean, I don't give a shit if you're the president of the United States. I don't care. I respect everybody, but I definitely um stand up for my own sovereignty and own my own governing of myself. So but even in the spiritual community, you have so many people that really seek to, you know, create codependent relationships with people to have reoccurring. It's just like going to the doctor and getting that prescription.
yeah,
And we were never taking responsibility for ourselves. We continue to give our power away. And I had to come to terms with that myself, like, because I
same.
wanted answers so desperately. And it wasn't until I sat with myself, got real honest with myself, and realized that nobody on the outside of me is going to be able to give me what I need. You can listen
Absolutely.
to me and maybe give me some guidance or your perspective. And that goes for anybody. Like, it's
Yeah.
not outside. There's not a God up in the sky somewhere, people. It's within you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. It can be
Absolutely.
nowhere else. Scientifically, there's nothing solid in this world. How are we having this conversation if we want to go science? Spiritually, okay, we can talk about the mathematics, the Maya, the dream, the dream spell that we all seem to be, this is the dream. Our true self is running from a higher currency, so to speak, or a higher frequency that's allowing us for an aspect of ourselves to drop down in these bodies and have these experiences and come together to bring information in from the, if you want to say, I wouldn't say there's not dimensions out there, higher states of consciousness.
Yeah.
Some would call dimensions, different timelines, whatever. Divya, what's going on?
Well, yeah, we're multidimensional beings here. We have parallel universes going on simultaneously.
Oh yeah.
I mean, yeah.
And we're creating a new world. So, you know, a lot of people, if you need to talk about something, you know, just, keep it small and with people you can trust, because that's very effective to help heal yourself. However, once you process, don't stay stuck in a story, because it's going to be more effective as a society to dream a new dream as opposed to ruminating on past. So we have to get creative to do that. So when we get present, we get, sparks of genius, brilliant ideas, innovations come, inventions come. So when we get to that place, we're sharing these things like we are now, and opening ourselves to be divine vessels, channels, hollow bones. And then we never know what we're affecting or touching or how it meant to someone else. And when we do, we rarely recall it because it's so divine and beautiful. So I love to stay in that space because, I chase miracles every day. And quite frankly, I am one. I'm a miracle worker. And I'm so grateful for that. And those who are divine vessels too, because we all are God-like in God consciousness and God and Goddess within us. So when we open up to that, there's limitless possibilities. And I think it was Japan that has space out competitions. Once we lose our mind, once we abandon our mind, we can kind of drift and dream. And the less it was Einstein that said, I think 100 times and think of nothing. And then the ideas come when he's not thinking. Well, that's profound, because that's a dance that we have to interpersonally do by ourselves, with ourselves, often when the mind wants to step in. So that's a dance. And I'll say, okay, well, I've listened to enough of you.
Yes,
But
I do that often. I have committees showing up and ready to sit at the conference table. I'm like, not today, buddy. That is so funny that you said that.
Yeah, the committee.
Seriously, they used to tease me at a place I used to years ago, because I would have conversations with myself and I would see things from different perspectives, and I am multidimensional and I am fully aware, or let me rephrase that. I am somewhat aware of some of my other aspects of myself, but I've done a lot of integration, so that's a lovely thing, but I love what you just said, for sure. Thank you, Divya. I mean, continue, but I just had to say that because, it's nice to know I'm not the only freaking one,
Oh no.
Yeah.
No, you're not the only one. We're in this together.
Absolutely.
And
it's so funny.
The interconnectedness is real. It's real.
Yeah. You both are so amazing. It's so lovely to be able to come together like this, and to be able to broadcast it, to share it with other people. And I want everybody to know that love surrounds you always. When you open up to it and you're willing to receive. We're taught to say no to things, because of fear or distrust or, lack of self-worth or value. And I know both you ladies do such great work, and I honor you. I respect you. I love you. I can say that, and I mean that. I appreciate you. I'm so grateful that you came on with me tonight. I wasn't, really prepared what was going to be, shared, but I love having it just kind of free flowing and talking about what's going on. And so, Divya, you have a daughter and a son do you want to share anything about, I mean, they're gorgeous. I see.
Thank you. They're going through their worlds now too. And
Yes,
the
ma'am.
last 3 years with my daughter's been really tough. And I think when you're 20, your parents are cool again. So my daughter and I have reconnected in a different way because there was absence. And I never project my stuff on her. She's her own, our children are their own selves longing for themselves. And she's a strong personality, but she's very wise and very smart. And my son is a very, very, very sweet soul. So in these times, I'm very proud of them for being critical thinkers and knowing when something's off and not right. And I listen to them. I listen to their frustrations and what they have to say. And I can intuitively as a mother, I know what they need, whether they need me to listen or validate their feelings. They've had a rough week and, just validating and listening to them has been very crucial. And, planting those seeds, I'm a mom meme sending mom. So you never know which one's going to spark. So my daughter, when it means something to her, they hear our voice, not when we're speaking, but in another time when it's going to be relevant. And then one day they'll come back to you and say, wow, you remember when you told me that? That really stuck. Thank you for sharing that with me. My daughter has told me that.
Yeah.
And, but these times have been really difficult on them too. And, I talked to my son, I was like, look, they try to coerce you at school. You don't have to stay, all of these things. Let him know that he has a right and a decision and he has options and he doesn't have to be coerced. And, with my daughter, she's gauged into, hey, something's not right here.
Yeah.
So I'm so glad that she's gauged in
That's
in these
fabulous.
times.
Yeah. And then your children, Lily, you have two young boy, well, a teenage boy and then a small one. And how are they doing?
Yeah, well, Jet, my eldest, he is 14, will be 15 in April. And my youngest, Phoenix, he is 4 and will be 5 in March. Phoenix is a totally different kind of soul. He's one of those souls that's come in with a mission. And that mission is love, is joy, is transmutation. He's just a powerhouse in this tiny little human vessel at the moment. But in dream time, he'll wake up in the night talking or screaming, and I'll come in and I'll say, what's going on is like, there's this person, they're doing this, they've taken me in a ship, I'm up in here, I'm helping humanity, I'm on a helicopter. There's all these different missions that he has, bless his soul. So he's seen spirit right from the get-go, and he's just tapped in that way. So as far as collectively at the moment, being at the age that he's at, there's not too much of an understanding of it, but he's doing his work as it is, which is just like, it blows my mind. It completely blows my mind. And Jet, he is doing so amazing.
I'm so happy to hear that.
Oh my God. So we had a roundtable show, and shout out to Chris and Sean. Love you guys so much, because since we did this roundtable and they tapped into some of the disturbances that were going on, there's still stuff that we work through regularly, but not only were they able to help clear a lot of the stuff that was causing some really not great behavior and treatment, especially towards me, they were able to also equip me with a lot of other knowledge, and they did their own clearing and activating within me that's helped me be so much more proactive rather than reactive. And his psychology.
I'm so happy, Lily, to hear this.
So good.
Yes, that's fabulous.
It's hard because we live in a society that says, oh, your child's out of hand, control them, manage them, do this stuff. But no, that's not actually what it comes down to. We've got to be able to set the best examples we can, but we also need to respect that our children come in here with their own soul contract and their own their own array of stuff that's going to go on, and we can do the best we can to guide them in the right direction. But for a child like Jet in particular, For me, it's in those moments where he's in the red zone, it's about risk minimalization. That's what it's about. And the best way to give him that is to radiate love. And he has gone his whole life being judged. He's been in that sort of gray area of the spectrum, but he just processes things differently. And every single human being on this planet processes things differently. Some are just more extreme than others. And Jet has always been more on the extreme side of things, which I relate to. As a child and as an adolescent, early 20s even, I was one that was more on the extreme side until I found my awakening and until I started to go through understanding things on this soul level rather than that mental level.
Yeah.
So Jet's doing so much better. He has had a lot of pressure to get the thing from school, from peers, from other family members and stuff. And he doesn't want to do it. And that's not a projection of me. That's the fact. He said to me, it's like, I know that something's not right, Mum. Like, I know. But then the sort of like surrounding peer pressure started to kick in. He's like, oh, maybe I'll just do it because everyone else is fine. But then all of a sudden, he now knows firsthand, like not only his best friend had adverse reactions after his second thing, but now he's also seeing a lot of others. And he's now also doing his own research where he's actually going online and finding all of these other resources. Yeah. And he's like, no, until there's
something. Good for him, being a 14-year-old. You know, the kids are coming in so much more awake and aware and activated. Yeah. And I'm so, you know, I meet amazing youngins often. I work with a lot of them in my community. I mean, I have people that look up, you know, that come to me and ask for guidance, and I do my best to guide them. But, you know, I always just say, you know, ask, like, you got to go within. If you're if you're even questioning whether you should, it's probably likely you shouldn't, right? If you're,
definitely.
I mean, and we second guess ourselves, not just with that, and that's a trauma response, right? Not trusting ourselves, so it's lovely to hear that he's thinking for himself and he's, you know,
and that's
doing his own
big
research
for him.
Yeah.
That is huge for him to think for himself because of his disconnections with peers and always having to feel like he needed to prove himself or to be something different. For him to now be coming into his own and standing in his own truth and his own energy is amazing. And I told him the same thing. If it comes down to it and you can't go to school unless you've got it and you don't want it, don't worry, buddy, I've got your back. We're homeschooling. And they're coming for our youngins now, our youngins.
Yeah.
So we've now got a community of amazing, beautiful parents that are saying, hell no, are you coming near my young child?
Yes.
And we've now got a community of parents that are going to rally together and homeschool together as a community. So we've got that in place and ready. Yeah. And that's where we get to also teach this side of things, the energetic side of things, the soulful life lessons that are going to help equip them as well.
So do you okay, so because I know it's 8:12 now, and I'm not rushing, so I don't want y'all feeling rushed in any way, but let's just shift it a little bit, right? So I think we've touched on a lot of different things tonight, and I'm very pleased with that. I'm thankful. But so the new moon, Divya, you know, Divya, share with us the new moon and what this new moon represents and what does it mean for us as far as like moving through cycles and what do you think the collective has to look forward to? What's being projected into the dream?
Well, that's just it. We set our intention. I'm not an astronomer or an astrologist by any means. However, the moon is so powerful. So it's our time, that death, that rebirth, setting that intention, focusing on what our passion or our purpose. And then we have so much more of a powerful force pulling and creating for us and with us and through us. So I think for everyone individually, to just set their pure intention and to put that out and let the universe work for you and be in alignment with that. You know, I would like to set the intention that everyone feels encouraged and empowered, and don't be afraid to ask questions and say, what next? What do I need to see? Where is there truth in this? Whatever your question is at the time, because we have to invoke, and when we ask, the answers will come. So this is for us collectively and individually or personally, whatever, wherever, however. But that's very important for us to see those signs. I mean, my life has been driven by signs and miracles, and I don't know anything less than that, because it's the only thing that's carried me, nurtured me, guided me, directed me, and protected me. So, and when we don't listen, it's self-betrayal. So I want to set the intention that the world remembers how powerful they are. You are a powerful, limitless being, and together we can manifest change and have a mega tipping point where we stand in our sovereignty and our joy and our love, and create all new possibilities for our greatest good on a collective scale is my
Yes,
intention.
ma'am. I love that. Yes,
Thank
Oh,
you.
ma'am.
yes.
You
Oh,
said,
yes.
well, you said it, self-betrayal when we don't listen. Because I know plenty of that. I did it for years. I didn't listen. I just refused to see things for what they were. And I would always look for the good in people, and I'd ignore certain things. And I realized it took me really going through a dark night of the soul to realize how much I didn't see it as self-betrayal. I just was, sacrificing myself constantly because I was going to save everybody and make everything okay for everybody else, and not realizing what I was doing was complete self-betrayal. And I realized there's nobody else to blame. So thank you for that, because I think it's important people hear that. When we don't listen to ourselves and our intuition, our divine guidance, the, spirit speaks, and it's a whisper. And you have to be able to just really tune in and listen. And like you, I always ask for God, if we want to use the word God, creator, source, to bless me with eyes to see and ears to hear and a heart that knows, always, in any situation, especially if I feel like, okay, what is before me and what am I seeing? Help me to have clarity. In certain, like, you get in situations where you have to make on the spot choices, decisions, and especially in this day and age, there's just so much going on.
Yeah, definitely are. That's for sure. Yeah, with these new moon energies, where we're in the Scorpion, we're in the Scorpio season, and Scorpio is all about the death and rebirth.
Yes.
But I think the other side of Scorpios, it's a very passionate and very, very loving sign as well. They always Scorpios always kind of get a bit of a wrathful sort of like, oh, Scorpio, watch out, they're a bit full on. It's like, no, they're passionate, they feel deeply. And this comes for any sign of the zodiac, mind you. It is not by any means just one sign. It's not, because everyone has their passionate side. But these times are really, really perfectly designed for the portals that I was talking about, these gateways that are opening right now. It's the perfect time to be able to have that rest and reflect, to say, okay, what's serving me, what's not serving me, and to be able to really hold faith and that inner knowing of our higher infinite potentials and the higher infinite potential for humanity as a whole. Yes, things are tricky right now, but collectively, our love and our perspectives and our energy actually has the ability to shift mountains. And when we can shift that within ourselves, that radiates out to the collective. So that's the best thing that we can do. The words that you shared were so perfect. They were so perfect, because it truly is the time for us to really stand in our truth and our loving truth. We don't need to judge ourselves within the past, present, or future. And we don't need to do that for anyone else or anything else. We need to hold that love, hold that higher vibration, and to be able to devote ourselves to ourselves. We deserve our devotion. It doesn't matter where you've been, what you've seen, what you've done. We each deserve to devote our energy to ourselves And when we fill this cup up, we can then share that and radiate it out to others as well. It has a beautiful flow on. It really does.
Absolutely. I agree completely with what, you know, I absolutely agree with what you just said, Lily. I have
Yeah.
a whole lot of love. I'm a very, you know, in my everyday life, I'm a very outgoing, loving, affectionate person. And I do kind acts, and I'm not sharing this because I'm looking for any recognition. It's just, it's who I am. And I love that. And I do, what I don't like is that I have to be conscious of not overextending myself, because I've done that my whole life. Right. And I'm learning to find a balance. And because, you know, and now that I've pulled my energy back, really a focus on things that I want to create for myself, my own healing and spiritually maturing, but more importantly, emotionally maturing, making emotional, intelligent decisions for myself, like not going back to having old lovers contact me. You know, it's been
Oh,
4 years. I haven't, yes. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I'm not doing that. I deserve to be treated well. I deserve to be, and most importantly, I deserve to do it for myself. I've done it for, you know, and it's innate in our, especially being women, divine feminine. It's part of our innate, you know, built
Yeah.
in us to be nurturers and lovers and providers and caretakers and all the good, you know, that great stuff. And I'm half Arabic. It's been passed down in the culture, and I didn't grow up with my dad's side of the family, so it's just in me, you know.
Yeah.
And I love that about myself, but I'm just learning to, like, you know, pull back a bit and take care of myself. I'm 53 years old. I'm not getting any younger. I want certain things for my life. I want them for my loved ones. I want them for the people that I care about. I pray that, you know, that something's going to happen. You know, okay, real quick, I'll bring this up, and then you guys please share anything that's on your heart that you want to share. But people are talking about the solar flares,
Yeah.
right? And I remember probably about 3 or 4 years ago. Well, it was during while I lived here, and I moved here in 2018. So from Maryland. So it's, let's just say 3 years ago. But I uh saw flares coming through the, like, it was like it would project, and then it would project another, you know, it was just like, I want to use the word not spitting, but these pulsations of flares coming out of the sun. And I saw it. And I it was quite, I mean, it was just, I can't
Yeah.
even explain to you. It was so amazing. And there's really no words to explain it. I was by a body of water, and there were people swimming, and I yelled out, "How's the water?" And it was like, you know how like a cloud would be covering the sun up, so it's kind of like gray, like overcast.
Yeah.
I was like, "How's the water?" And he's like, "Oh, it's nice. Come on in." And all of a sudden, this light, it just, the whole place lit up. So of course I go to look up, like, what, where's this, all this bright light coming from? And as soon as I look up, all these pulses of spurts of flashes of light, I mean, are just pouring out of the sun,
Mhm.
like firecrackers, but out of the sun. It was just amazing. I can't even, I'll never forget that. So I
Yeah.
believe we've already received those solar flare. I believe that it's already happened.
Yeah.
And
Oh, it's
yeah,
definitely ongoing. That's for
yeah.
sure. Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're
Yeah,
fine.
it's definitely an ongoing thing. And you know, these solar flares, the solar storms, all the different stuff that's happening up within that space is really quite powerful for the upgrades that we're going through within our physical and energetic bodies. So as those waves come through, sure, there may be some disruptions, and they're worried about potential, you know, technological disruptions and stuff like that. but it's giving us what we need. It's actually a really powerful instrument for helping our DNA be upgraded and activated in ways that, you know, we haven't seen to this magnitude within this incarnation. So it's pretty powerful stuff, that's for sure. But gosh, it brings on some some massive symptoms some days, especially the vertigo, the lightheadedness. That's some of the big ones that a lot of people I know go through. I kind of feel like I'm this little ball of like a little mini sun some days where I'm like, oh yes, give it to me. Whereas it wasn't like that at the beginning though. It was like, I feel a bit out of sorts today. But now I think I've kind of adjusted and integrated my light bodies to be like thriving from it with a more easier integration. But there's a lot of people that are really feeling it massively. And, you know, they can come from anything like cold and flu symptoms, headaches, aches and pains, all kinds of different things. But you can have your manic super highs as well, where you're feeling like really quite up there.
Elated. I get it.
Yeah,
Well, that's how I get during full moons, new moons.
Yeah.
Either I'm super energetic like I am right now, or I'm exhausted and I just need to sleep for a day or two.
Yeah. And
it's one or the other. There's never, you know.
Yeah. We're coming into eclipse season too. So it's
yeah.
Let's go, guys. We're in for a fun ride. But it's going to give us what we need, because no matter what life hands at us, like life hands us, or the universe, multiverse hands us, it's what's destined and what's divine.
Do you want to share some light language with us?
And
then we could do like a little ceremony prayer. Divya, you can do that. And I would love to. I'm going to just spray. So this is from a little shout out for Christopher Jacobs. This is called Dark Be Gone. It's fabulous. It's a bunch of different patchouli, myrrh, frankincense. It's just a mixture. And I just spray it. It's lovely. Clears this, you know, the energy for all of us. And go ahead and, okay.
Just opening your hearts and allowing the vibrations of my voice to come through your system. Or if you'd like to just have them float around your system, that's completely fine too. Knowing that my intention is love, just pure love, and that they will land exactly how they need to, exactly how they're destined to. If you feel like having a giggle at any of the sounds, have a giggle. Let your inner child come out and play. Light language. We don't take offense when it's received in a way of, what on earth is that? What's the jibber jabber coming out? No. Let that inner child play if they want to play. Have a laugh. Question it. Inquire into what is it. But know that it is love. It is love from my heart to your heart. Escalaritini ashushusini kinewa. Eana olortia susuni niklatianiwa. Earu sushuni kinebana aretia susuni larikitiniwa. Ea shulariti. Heania ho. Hey. O solarati ne. Hey. O no colone. E halariti ne. Eknia larasita shunekinianiwa. Enaka la shushisiniwa. E batula netsini kinia aritia woshase. E atalaraya. E latarele. E sakoniatiawa. Allowing those energies to sink into where they need to. allowing the activations to dance through your energetic bodies if you would like to receive them. Feel the light codes working their magic. Grounding back into the present moment, this beautiful earthly realm. Feeling the crystalline grid connect with our core. And giving deep thanks to all that is, the interconnectedness that we all share, the abundance of love that we all share. Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Lily.
you,
That was
Lily.
beautiful.
Thank you. That was beautiful.
Oh,
Thank you. I'm like the kid at church, right? Peek and open the eye and see.
And that's okay. You can receive it with eyes open, however you want.
I wasn't sure when you were ending, like you got quiet, like started fading out, and I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
I'm just, it's okay. I'm being honest.
Oh,
Thank
that's
you.
okay.
That was
Have
was
your
so
eyes open and watch
fabulous.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just said, it's so interesting where how the mind will go. It's like, okay, I'm open to receive the blessing. Thank you. And then my mind in my subconscious, I'm open to receive the curse pops up. And I'm like, I'm not,
Yeah.
what it,
No,
it's
there's not a lot.
so, I mean, of course not. I'm like, all right, this is when something is challenging or the subconscious, the programming wants to come out and try to like override. And I just have, it's part of mastering our own mind, our own spirit, and
Absolutely.
saying absolutely not.
Yeah.
And I am open to receive all the blessings, and I thank you.
No, and thank you.
So
And that's the
I'm
thing,
putting myself out there for people that might have that challenge.
Yeah.
There's times I could be praying and my subconscious will just start, and I'm like, okay, who is that? What is that? Where does it come from? And it's programming, and it's the part of ourselves that feel not worthy, lack, not important, not valued, all those things. It's the programming from coming up. I mean, I really just,
Yeah.
I
And that's
can
the thing
love it now.
Exactly. Just send it love and say you've got nothing to fear. That's not what it is. And a lot of the light codes and activations that come through, they're unraveling stuff like curses. They're letting that all ravel out.
Well, that's probably exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So a lot of the time, if that kind of stuff comes up, you can sit with it and you say, is that what's happening? No, that's not what's happening.
Yeah.
I see what I see that you've got that aspect. Yeah. I send you love. This is love. Receive love. Yeah.
Lovely. Thank you, Lily.
No, thank you.
I feel completely confident. I don't let that. I mean, I remember there was a time was like, I really thought something was wrong with me. Like, why am I having these reoccurring, looping thoughts? Like, they were horrible. Yeah. I'm out walking. I walk by somebody and I'm like saying, this horrible thought will come to, like, where the F did that just come from? What is that? I'm saying to myself, like, what? Yeah. And now it's just like, I just don't give it. Not today. I love you. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Miss Divya. Thank you for
that light language was powerful.
Yeah,
thank you.
It was. And not that curse right out of me. Yeah,
wow. So much happening in that. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that divine gift. Wow. Lovely. Thank you.
And I had to put my hair up. I got a hot flush.
Yeah. So do we want to do a little collective, like something? Is there something you want to share? Anybody want to? So I'll say right now, I send nothing but the highest aspect of divine love, truth, and true light out to everyone watching this show. Thank you for joining us. If you're here, hit a like, share, subscribe. I would appreciate it. We're going to get through this together, all of us. And more women like this. We're going to come back again, Miss Lily and Divya, and we'll have some other women and we'll share, just even being in your energetic field. I don't have to say anything, and I can just feel the love you both hold. I know that. and I feel safe. I know that I'm in, with powerful women. And I appreciate you, and I want you to know that. Miss Divya, please close us out. It's 8:33. Close us out with something that we can leave with the, those that will be listening. Miss Lily, I appreciate the love you just shared with us. That was lovely. So go ahead.
Love you both. Thank you so much for the gift of being here. I want to start with a mantra. It's called Bhavanam Gevalam. And in a very profound, deep way, it means love is all there is. The infinite in me honors the infinite in you. So Bhavanam Gevalam, times are hard. You get a crazy thought, just Bhavanam Gevalam. Putting that mantra, that vibration out there breaks up a lot of static, because when things get noisy, we've got to learn how to get calm and quiet. So it's a dance. And we keep trying, recorrecting and resetting. And I want everyone to remember how beautiful, loving, and powerful you really are. We really are infinite. Our souls are infinite. And when we connect, it's like this amazing energetic web, and we're affecting everything on a quantum level. And that is so beautiful. And what a blessing it is to stay grateful and heart-centered, and to collectively collaborate and cooperate, and to share these things, all the shades, not just the pretty shades, but all of the shades. We don't deny anything, we embrace them. And I'm blessed and so grateful to be here. Thank you. Namaskar.
Oh, you guys are so awesome.
I
You're
love
I'm
you
so
all.
happy. I'm so thankful. I just feel so charged by this. I really appreciate you both. I appreciate you showing up. I know it was a last minute kind of thing, and but look at this amazing. People are gonna watch this and realize that they're not alone. That we, I imagine a lot of people go through some challenging thoughts, and we're here for you, Miss Lily, Miss Divya. Thank you both. Thank you for your patience with me and those that are listening. I can't help my brain the way, and I don't know if it's from trauma or what. I mean, my whole life I've been like this, where it's just I don't stay focused very long on one thing. And I don't mean to be that way, but I'll tell you, I've been diagnosed ADHD, and I just won't take their medicines anymore. So I do my best to keep myself,
Sister, you are perfect, just as you are. You don't have to apologize or put a disclosure
thank
for
you.
who you are. You're perfect, and we love you. We love you for who
Oh,
you
Lily, thank you. I appreciate that.
are. It's the
It's
truth.
been a huge complex for me my whole life. Ida, you
I-
talk too much. You can't say, I'll be talking and I go from I mean, I laugh at myself because,
I do the
my
same
mind
thing.
goes-
Don't worry. It's like
Yeah.
100 stories in one story. Eventually, it comes
Yeah,
back
yeah.
around.
Yeah. Okay, good.
You're not
Now I feel
alone.
much
You're
better.
not
Thank
alone.
you. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to share, if y'all don't mind, real quick, I'm gonna do a this is Hopeful Sal's patchouli, sweet orange. You can't see it well because of the computer. Hopeful Sal's. I have it with CBD, 100 milligrams of CBD. I have 2 more coming out. Different fragrances. One is going to be vanilla lavender, and the other one is cedarwood basil. And those 2 have 200 milligrams of CBD. This one has 100, and then I have plain. You guys can go to my website. But it's fabulous. I love it, and I've done very well. If anybody's interested, I'd be glad to, go to my website, order it, and I'll ship it out to you as soon as I see the order.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Are you guys doing anything creative? Anything you want to share here? You've got a website, right? Lily, you do service. You have clients. Do you want to share that? And then I don't know if
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I don't have a website yet, but you can add me on Facebook. So that's Lily Hayes, or you can find me on Instagram, which is spirit.mama.adelaide. I am still in the process of doing the final stages of launching my own YouTube channel, which is Self-Mastery Super Show. And it's talking about all these different amazing things that we can put as a foundation for our self-mastery and being able to stand in our truth and continue to evolve and shine bright. But yes, I am available for sessions, and doesn't matter where you are in the world, I'm here for you. So definitely, by all means, you can get in contact with me over Facebook or Instagram is the two best ways.
I just followed you on Instagram.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I gave you a follow back as well.
And then Miss Divya, are you doing any kind of service for anybody, or are you allowing people to contact you for any mentoring, guidance, anything? Or
I do service on the regular. I'm doing more attracting rather than promoting. And then, of course, there's those that come to ask questions and you discern, are they ready for the answer? You know, there's so many things. So right now I'm just working on attraction rather than promotion, but I am available for healings and holding space and any questions that someone may have. If they want to hit me in my inbox and messenger, that's fine. Just, you know.
Fabulous. And I highly recommend, if any of you are looking for someone to assist you in your journey, these two women are fabulous. They've definitely, I just admire you both. I appreciate you. I thank you for coming on, especially last minute. Please, I'm going to put it out there into the field that I would love to have you both come back, and I'm going to see if I can bring a few other women on, and maybe I'll do my best to be a little bit more structured. I say this every show, but you know, get used to me because it's just the way I am. And I don't mean, you know, to be disruptive or interrupt anybody. I truly don't mean anything by it. And I appreciate your patience. I love that what comes out of both you. I know it's coming from your heart. I feel it. I know it. I know it's genuine. I know it's authentic. And that's really just my whole intent in every show, is to bring genuine, authentic, down to earth women that have done the inner work, that have done the healing on themselves, or anybody for that matter, but in particular women, because that's where my heart right now is. I think there's so many women that are just really, there's a lot of women that need help. I'll just say that. I get people contacting me on Messenger, and I listen. I do the best I can, you know, to give guidance. I mean, I'm, you know, but anyways, both of you, thank you both. Thank you, Miss Divya. Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you, Lily. Yep.
Thank
Have a
you.
fabulous night, and we'll get this uploaded and I'll send it to you if you want to share it. Great. Either way, thank you. I appreciate you. And so much love to you both. Have a great full moon. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Good job. Thank you.
Pleasure to meet you, Lily.
And likewise, I'll see you again.
Yes.